Our episode this week is once again about Wesley Crusher, so strap in. A Starfleet propulsion expert named Kaczynski is coming aboard to perform some experiments on their BSBS to try to make them go faster without altering their engines. Riker is convinced Kaczynski's full of it, but Picard's all for trying it out. More speed might let him actually get around to some exploring, since by episode 5 the only thing he's done, besides check up on primitives and drunks, is seek out new life and surrender to it. More speed would at least add runaway as a viable alternative. Kaczynski is played by the late Stanley Camel, whom you may recognize from Monk, where he played Monk's therapist, Dr. Kroeger. Troy provides us with her usual insight.
Also, he's arrogant, overbearing, self-important, and very sure of himself and his ability.
Yeah, we know about Riker, but what about Kaczynski? One actually useful thing she does is says that the assistant Kaczynski brought over is just a blank. He's occupying space, but he doesn't have any kind of presence at all, like a Spider-Man villain spin-off movie.
I can see the future.
Kaczynski strolls into engineering and demands to know what Wesley's doing, besides sporting the latest in the fall Grannyware catalog, and we learn he's doing a school project. And we all remember how well things went last time Wes was sitting in that chair. Kaczynski and Riker spend some time in a dick measuring contest, until Kaczynski deigns to share his theory with them of how this will make the ship go faster. The assistant takes the time to enter the info far faster than any person can, which is impressive when your fingers are the size of small bread loaves. Then again, I am jealous of anyone that gets to wear zebra-striped pajamas to work. As he works, Wesley leans in and looks things over, and to set our extreme creepiness for this episode, the assistant glances at Wes and licks his lips. For all the talk about avoiding conflict, they've sure gone out of their way to make Kaczynski a complete jerk. I mean, it's one thing to be arrogant. I mean, that's kind of par for the course here. But he goes beyond that by, well, for example, just shoving past Riker for no reason other than so he can gesticulate grandly while speaking of his great genius, moving from douchebag to self-appointed lord of the dickheads. Then he gives us his double talk on the nature of reality that everyone agrees is drivel, but is indignant that they're questioning this shot between pop science and bad New Age banter to create what's less this new philosophy or engineering approach and more like his own frickin' religion, with him as Pope of the Church of Assholes. So the process gets underway as Enterprise takes off, and wow, look at how fast that guy's hands are moving, huh? Way faster than any human could. Criminy, I've seen old ladies with 20 bingo cards work faster. And of course, Kaczynski's doing his thing too, tapping the instruments to make them go faster. So I guess his engine upgrade was just installing Parappa the Rapper ROMs on there. And I hate to seem like I'm constantly beating on this relationship between the assistant and Wesley here, but honestly, what really happens is he is so distracted by Wesley's presence that he seems to lose track of what's going on. He starts fading in and out of reality and then just gets tossed out of his chair. This winds up leading the ship to go past warp 10. Uh-oh, you know what that means. Yep, freaky salamander sex time.
Reverse engines.
Captain, no one has ever reversed engines at this velocity.
Because no one has gone this fast. Reverse engines.
Oh, well, when you put it that way, it doesn't sound nearly as suicidally stupid. On arriving, they're in the galaxy M33, 2.7 million light years from home.
Just explain what brought us here.
As the power grew, I applied the energy asymptomatically. I anticipated some tilling, but it didn't occur. Now that was my error, using the Bessel functions at the beginning.
The blurns are loaded, the count's 3 blurns and 2 anti-blurns, and the infield blurn rule is in effect, right?
Except for the word blurn, that was complete gibberish.
What is he saying, number one?
To tell the truth, sir, it sounds like nonsense to me.
How ironic. This is tame compared to most of the technobabble we'll get later on. Wesley's concerned about the assistant, but despite his protests, the assistant doesn't want him to go get his mother, instead just preferring to lean in close to him. Up on the bridge, his assholiness is pontificating about how awesome he is, and the chief engineer is the first convert, saying that they should name the new warp speed after Kaczynski. As he slimes his way off the bridge, the senior staff gather to discuss the situation. And believe it or not, it's Worf who actually has the most insight into this. Because you see, Kaczynski claimed that they wound up out here because of a mistake he made. And he's gloating over how wonderful this mistake was. And all Worf sees is, you've made a mistake. You've screwed up and you've stranded us in a place that doesn't even have a name yet. Now, if this is a little oops, what does a big oops look like? And guess what? We're going to find out. So yeah. Between this and the naked now, I may have to completely reevaluate how I look at Worf. He seems to be the only one who knows what the hell's going on around here. Data, on the other hand, is hopeful that maybe they could stick around here and explore for a little while. I mean, after all, 300-year trip back for him, that's no big deal. Picard's actually kind of tempted by that thought, too. I mean, there could be whole new species out here for him to find and surrender to. But there is a chance that they could wind up getting stranded out here and having to spend the entire rest of the series trying to get home. And who the hell wants to watch that crap? They prepare to head back as Kaczynski delivers the papal bullshit to the masses, and Wesley has a concerned discussion with Riker's left arm. Despite his protests, they start to head back, but the assistant starts phasing out of reality, and the ship heads even faster in the other direction until they wind up at the edge of the universe, having clearly reached the speed of lint from all the clouds and cosmic scrubbing bubbles. After Picard leaves to find out what happened, things get even more random with an appearance by a Targ, Worf's pet from when he was a boy.
You're telling me it's a kitty cat?
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
As we'll soon learn, it's the power of thought that's creating things like the Targ, so it should be no surprise that Tasha's close proximity sends it back into nothingness. Oh, look, a frog! Picard's got problems of his own. Damn, I always mix up engineering and the portal of doom. Our string quartet friend is back, now imagining that he's playing with guys in powdered wigs, but who hasn't had that fantasy? Oh, and more of Tasha, now in a dream where she's cornered by a rape gang, tells the cat to run away before it gets raped. More of this kind of thing goes on until Picard runs into his dead mother. Oh, being a Picard only by marriage, she's aware of how to actually smile at someone. She tries explaining things to him, but Riker interrupts and she vanishes. Realizing this, Picard informs everyone on the ship that whatever they think becomes reality, which means 10 seconds later there's a whole ship full of people having the most bizarre sex anyone can imagine. Riker reveals that Kaczynski was indeed full of crap, that it was the assistant doing it the whole time.
It was also my fault, Captain. I should have realized it wasn't Kaczynski.
Yep, you're fired too. With the assistant dying, they bring him up to sickbay, where Wesley decides to inflict himself on us for a little while.
Is he gonna be all right?
What is the boy doing here?
Mom, he's my friend.
Damn, Wes, that's just sad. It took longer to make the Thanksgiving turkey than you've known this guy for, but being a person who didn't cringe at the sight of you makes you too tight in your mind, huh? Riker picks up on the other, more sinister half of this relationship.
You may want him here before we're done, sir. He seems to have developed some sort of special attachment to the boy.
My name is Wesley, Commander Riker.
He knows.
Nearly getting us all killed kind of burns that into our memory, you little twerp. Anyway, in a move out of the Captain Janeway handbook of really stupid gambles, Picard orders that they risk killing the assistant by forcing him awake, because the dangers of this place are so great. So let's take a good shot at killing our only way back. Luckily, the assistant, hereafter referred to as the Traveler, survives and explains he was just using his abilities to get around to see stuff. He can do this because, prepare to have your mind blown, thought is the basis of reality. Well, that's the other end of the technobabble spectrum, to resort to New Age-style mumbo-jumbo. There's no difference, really, between the two. But I suppose at least with technobabble there's an attempt to imply that there's some science behind it. Oh, and before you say, well, it's just because this is so beyond our comprehension, realize that you could say anything and use that excuse. You could say the basis of all reality is flatulence, and it's just as valid. Oh, which reminds me, I should get back to the episode.
Why? In all of our history, is there no record of you or someone like you ever having visited us?
What wonderful arrogance. There is no record because we have not visited you before.
Wow. Nice day to you too, Dick.
Why not?
Well, because up until now, if you'll forgive this, you've been uninteresting. It's only now that your life form merits serious attention.
Yeah, wonderful arrogance, all right. Only our frickin' awesome group of frickin' superheroes is worth bothering over. And I hate to say it, but he's somewhat wrong. While it's true that up until now they've been uninteresting, they're going to remain uninteresting for the rest of the season. After everyone else is shooed out, the Traveler turns the topic right back to Wesley again.
Yes. He and a few like him are why I travel.
Yeah, I don't want to start any rumors. Just, this Traveler guy looks kind of familiar to me. I can't imagine if that might have any significance, though. He pushes Picard to find ways to encourage Wesley to grow in his understanding of the ship and the ideas behind it, putting Picard in a difficult position. Picard is a Federation hero, but doesn't deal well with children, and past efforts to combine those two elements haven't ended well. So they prepare for the return trip with the added issue that they'll need help from the thoughts of the crew in order to make it work. He calls on them to focus their thoughts upon their duty or upon the traveler. Can I focus them on getting my pants back? My wallet was in my pocket. They begin heading back, but not fast enough, and the traveler starts losing strength. Luckily, though, even more powerful than thought is Wesley Crusher's touch. So, while he holds his hand, they now rocket back home. The traveler disappears in the process.
Completely normal phenomenon.
Picard summons Wesley to the bridge, but Riker points out he can't do that because it's a violation of his own orders, which only allows commissioned officers on the bridge. Wow, I thought it was just no children. I'm sure the enlisted guys appreciate that. Oh, fire on the bridge, huh? Gosh, we'd love to come up there and put it out for you, but we're not worthy to set up there on your precious little club bridge. Why don't you officers just go and order the fire to put itself out? Yeah, everyone's supposed to be an officer right now. That's just a whole different kind of stupid. So Picard decides to just make the teenage boy an acting ensign, complete with inspirational music to make us think this is awesome rather than nauseating, and plunks his ass down, and, well, that ends the episode. Post-episode follow-up. Annoying character goes to Kaczynski, but I'm sure you saw that coming. We have a Like Unto an Amoeba award for the Traveler, being able to accidentally throw the ship to the end of the universe. Final score for Where No One Has Gone Before is 4 out of 10. A better Season 1 episode by that low standard, but compared to the series as a whole, it's still below average. It continues to carry the most superficial traits of TOS, being so beyond us that they're like gods and dealing with the backwards planet of the week. But with different characters and the way that they're presented, none of it matters.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!
What's wrong?
Don't you see what's following us?